The afternoon felt unusually calm. Soft sunlight filtered through the window, warming the entire room. Leo sat beside the window, slowly reading his book. From time to time, he looked over his glasses and gently scanned the room, as if silently making sure everything was just right. In the kitchen, Luna was busy cooking. She stood near the stove, softly humming a tune. Her gentle humming made the house feel even more peaceful. On the floor, Toby lay comfortably. Sometimes he wagged his tail, and sometimes he suddenly stood up and spun around in circles, happily enjoying himself in his own silly way. But in the middle of this peaceful home, there was one little heart that felt different. Milo. Today, Milo was unusually quiet. Normally, he would be running from room to room, trying to grab Toby's tail, or sitting beside his father asking endless questions. But today, he sat silently at the small table. In front of him lay a notebook and some colorful pencils. He wasn't drawing. He was only watching, sometimes his father, sometimes his mother, sometimes Toby. Many thoughts were spinning inside his small mind. Dad tells me stories every day. Mom makes my favorite food. And Toby never lets me feel lonely. Milo thought to himself, but have I ever truly said, I love you? That thought echoed loudly in his heart. Slowly, Milo stood up. He gently pulled the notebook closer and picked up a pencil. He paused for a moment. What should he write? He didn't know big words. He couldn't write neatly. But his heart whispered, even if the words aren't perfect, the feeling is real. Milo began to move the pencil. The letters were crooked. Some went outside the lines. He stopped often to draw little pictures, a small heart, a drawing of 4 figures holding hands, a smiling face here and there. Finally, he wrote, Mom, Dad, Toby, I love you. Very few words, but very big feelings. When he finished, Milo stared at the letter. Suddenly, his heart began to beat faster. What if they laugh? What if they say, what is this? Fear slowly wrapped around him. He folded the letter carefully. He looked around to see if anyone was watching. Then quietly, he placed it on the corner of the table and moved away, sitting far from it. After a while, Luna came out of the kitchen to clean the table. Suddenly, her eyes caught the folded paper. What's this? She picked it up. She opened it and began to read. After reading just one line, she stopped. She read it again. She said nothing, only slowly looked toward Leo. Leo understood instantly. Something special had happened. He came closer. Luna placed the letter in his hands. Leo read it. As he read, his eyes softened. Toby, curious as ever, walked closer. What happened? Toby tilted his head. Leo smiled and lowered the paper. Toby looked at it too. Suddenly, a deep silence filled the room. But it wasn't a sad silence.
Everything is going to be just fine, you see?
Milo startled. He thought everyone might be upset. With his head lowered, he slowly walked closer. Before he could say anything, Leo lifted Milo into his arms and hugged him tightly. Luna stepped forward and wrapped her arms around Milo as well. A single tear rolled down her cheek. Do you know, Luna said softly, this letter is the most beautiful gift of my life. Toby jumped excitedly and said, yes, I want to put it in a frame. Milo looked up in surprise, his eyes wide. You're not angry? He asked quietly. Leo smiled warmly and said, who could ever be angry about love? At that moment, Milo understood. Even if words aren't perfect, true feelings are the strongest. That afternoon never felt the same again. The house felt warmer than before. The 4 of them sat together, talking and laughing. And Milo thought to himself, when love is hidden, it feels small. But when shared, it grows bigger.